The woman kept feeling like someone was sitting on the sofa right in front of her, so she just threw a bedsheet right over it. Seeing no reaction, she finally let out a sigh of relief. But right at that moment, a creepy scene unfolded. The bedsheet, which was clearly light, was pinned to the floor, completely refusing to budge no matter how hard she pulled. It was like something was weighing down the other side of the sheet. It felt as if a pair of feet were walking straight toward her. Terrified, the woman hurriedly called out to her partner, pointing at the bedsheet on the floor and saying someone was standing right there. The partner was a bit bewildered. Sure, there was a bedsheet on the floor, but it was just a bedsheet, and he had no idea what there was to be so afraid of. Plus, there was clearly no one else in the room, so the woman had to be hallucinating. After some comforting, the woman gradually calmed down, starting to believe her eyes had just played tricks on her. But the very next day, something creepy happened all over again. The sedatives that had gone missing out of nowhere suddenly popped back up, and they were sitting in the most obvious spot, looking like someone had intentionally placed them there, even though it was just a bottle of pills. The woman was deeply shaken to her core, because not long ago, she had just used this exact bottle of pills to do something terrible. That night, she personally slipped the pills into her husband's glass, sneaking out of the room after drugging him into a coma. After successfully scaling a 7-foot wall, she finally made it onto the highway not far away, right on schedule. Her sister happened to drive up at that exact moment to pick her up.
Go.
Open the fucking door, Cecilia! Open the door! Open the door! Open the door! Open the fucking door!
It was pretty obvious the woman's husband was a paranoid, violent control freak, but besides that, there was another thing about him that was pure nightmare fuel, leaving the woman traumatized even days after leaving the house, and that was the fact that he could be standing right next to you, and you knew he was there, but you just had no idea where exactly he was, just like this. The woman had no direct proof, but she could feel her husband tracking her like a ghost. Even after she moved into a friend's place after escaping, she still couldn't shake that exact feeling. So, with her friend accompanying her, she tracked down her husband's younger brother, wanting him to act as a middleman to beg her husband to let her go. But to her surprise, the brother's words left her not knowing whether to laugh or cry. He told the woman that his older brother had already died a few days ago, since he was a titan in the optics industry. The news had even trended online, so she didn't need to stress over this anymore. To make the woman believe it, the brother even pulled out photos of the death to prove it was a done deal, encouraging her to stop living in his shadow and boldly face reality. After hearing the brother out, the woman was ready to break the good news to her sister. But the moment they met, her sister had a freezing cold face, announcing she was cutting ties with her completely.
What? Thanks so much for carving out the time to let me know how quote-unquote suffocating I am to you.
The two of them were each other's only family, and she couldn't understand why her sister would suddenly say something like that. But before she could get a clear answer,
Please, no.
back at her friend's house, she saw an email on the computer that she had allegedly sent to her sister. The content inside was absolutely unreadable. The entire message was nothing but insults aimed at her sister, cutting ties with her, and even saying she wanted nothing more than to watch her die with her own eyes. With words that heartless and venomous, it was no wonder her sister had suddenly turned into a completely different person. But the catch was, this email wasn't sent by the woman at all. Someone had posed as her to write this email. Just as the woman was drowning in sorrow, her friend's daughter walked in. Seeing the woman looking incredibly heavy-hearted, she offered some comfort.
Oh my God. Sydney, are you okay? Would you just stop?
Out of nowhere, the girl was hit heavily by something. Since she had her head down and had no idea what just happened, she instinctively assumed the woman did it. Seeing as they were the only two people there, the woman tried desperately to defend herself. But seeing her own daughter bleeding from the hit, the friend clearly believed the daughter's word more. Now things were truly impossible to clear up. A scene this bizarre instantly sent the woman's newly calmed nerves right back into high alert. It was that exact same familiar feeling from before. But this time, the woman cooked up a plan. She found a bag of coffee grounds in the kitchen, tore it open, and dumped it all over the floor. The second anything got close to her, she would notice it immediately. She left a small clearance for herself in the very corner, making it easy to watch the doorway. But to her surprise, hours ticked by and not a single thing moved in the room. Right then, the woman had another idea. She decided to dial her husband's phone number. If he had the phone on him, she could pinpoint his location by the ringtone. But once the call went through, she realized the ringing was actually coming from right above her head. She grabbed a ladder, following the source of the sound right up into the ceiling. And sure enough, she found the phone there. The moment she unlocked the phone, her own photos filled the screen. At the exact same time, a text message popped up. The other side was mocking her, and it was blindingly obvious he had lured her up here on purpose. Crap. She was trapped in the ceiling space. The woman carefully looked toward the exit, and still, there was nothing. The woman spotted something shaped like a monster, but in the blink of an eye, it vanished all over again. The woman followed the tracks into the kitchen, discovering the guy had already washed the paint off, but within such a short window of time, he couldn't have gone far. He was probably still inside this very house. Even though she couldn't see a thing, she could absolutely feel him physically. She grabbed a dustpan from the drawer, swinging blindly and hitting him squarely based on her gut feeling. But just as she tried to run, she was thrown right back down. This situation of being attacked at any moment by something unseen and untouchable left the woman completely helpless. The woman wildly grabbed a plate nearby, smashing it right where she felt his head was, barely escaping his grip by the skin of her teeth and bursting out of the house. It was only now that she finally realized she had walked right into her husband's trap. The world thought he was dead, so no matter how he tortured her now, the outside world would never suspect a thing, especially since he had the power of invisibility. In a total panic, the woman thought of an extremely dangerous way out.